Hello, Chess Universe. Welcome to another video from Chess for You. Today, we're going to be looking at a game played in 1849 between Paul Morphy and Charles. This is one of the most beautiful games played by Paul Morphy. So, without further ado, let's quickly get into the game. Morphy with the white pieces opens up with e4. Charles goes for e5. Knight f3, knight f6, and we have a d4. So, this is the Scotch game. Black continues with e takes on d4. Morphy develops his light square bishop with bishop to c4. So we have the Scotch gambit on the board. So the main motive of this particular opening is to actually sacrifice a couple of pawns in the opening in return for a lead in development of your minor pieces. Black continues with developing his dark square bishop with a check bishop to b4, and white defends with c3. After d takes, Morphy actually gambits another pawn by actually castling it, castling king side. Black accepts the gambit with taking on b2, and after bishop takes on b2, this comes with an attack on the g7 pawn. Black retreats his dark square bishop, defending it. Now, I want you guys to quickly analyze this position, and you can clearly see that white is way ahead in development. In return, although I agree that E is down 2 pawns, but if black doesn't defend well, he could be saying bye bye pretty soon. So you can see that bishop pair is looking at the enemy's king side. You also have a free movement of your pieces. You can also develop your queen here, get a battery going, and exert pressure on the f7 pawn. In any case, Morphy continues the attack with advance of the e pawn. For one, this hinders a black's development. Now, where do you develop this knight? Of course, you doesn't make sense to develop here because you'll be blocking your way for your dark square bishop. Of course, you can't develop here. So the logical continuation would be to actually go for this odd-looking move, developing your knight on the rim. But this is actually the engine suggested move. For one, it does develop your knight, but the more important thing is like it adds protection to the f7 pawn, which is very crucial. However, black doesn't actually do this, but he advances the d pawn with a d6, right? And this is a mistake. For one, white can continue with going to b3. You can exert a battery and gain back a pawn, and also the position would be better. But instead, Morphy doesn't actually go for this, but he instead goes for rook to e1, placing your rook exactly opposite king, and which is a dangerous move, I should say. And black in this position ideally should have continued with giving back a pawn by advancing the pawn, because let's say after the bishop takes, black can actually develop his knight with an attack. So again, this could be better for black, but instead black doesn't do this. Black actually takes on e5. Clearly there is a lot of threats looming in the position. Morphy continues with a knight taking on e5, and you can see the threats in this position, right? And I should say that threat is more dangerous than the attack, because you can see this knight at a move, it can either go here, attack here, or even here, this opening up an attack of the rook. And you also have a double attack on the f7 pan. So already you have a lot of pressure in this position, and if black doesn't react well, he will be done. Black first actually exchanges the queen, which is the right move, but Morphy continues with the right move, that is bishop takes on f7. And how does black react here? Black king has only 2 squares available for him, and the ideal move would be to actually go for king to d8. But maybe Charles thought like, okay, if I go here, then the white can take the queen with an attack. So he instead goes for advancing the king, thinking that, hey, I'm avoiding the threat, but inadvertently he is actually running into the threat. And I hope you guys can find out a good continuation for white. Want you guys to pause the position and think of a good continuation starting from now. Okay, I hope you guys can figure out the good continuation, that is knight to g6, a double check. Now, what is a double check? Double check, these are one of the most dangerous moves that any player can play. For one, you see that the rook and the knight is currently attacked. However, both the pieces are checking the king, and of course, black won't be able to take both of them in a single move, and hence would have to react to both of the checks. And how does black react to it? Ideal move would be to actually going back here, but Charles thought that, hey, there is a free bishop here. Let me go ahead and take it. What can go wrong, right? So actually, black takes the bishop, and I hope you guys can spot the finish. So which is a knight takes on h8, 8 ball in the corner pocket, a checkmate. So clearly, you can see that this particular file is in white's control. These squares are gone, and currently the king is being checked, and you have this square being controlled by the knight. And last but not the least, you have the dark square bishop taking away the last light square for the enemy king, and that's the end of it. I hope you guys found this video informative. If you do, please hit the like, subscribe, and do share. If you guys want to share some feedback, please use the comment section. And thank you all. So I'll see you all in another video. Bye bye.